Welcome to a tutorial on turning in assignments. First, make sure you go into your learning modules. Make sure to work through the lesson. The symbol next to the text, that is a chain, represents a lesson. The image or the symbol next to the text, that is a piece of paper and a pencil, is an assignment. You will also see a symbol or an image of a rocket next to text, and that represents a quiz. Keep in mind that some assignments you'll do right on the computer. Other assignments you may have to type in Microsoft Word, Office 365, Google Docs, or other programs like that where you'll need to save it and then turn it in at a later time. Make sure that you are reading everything on each slide and following the directions on each slide. When you're done with one slide, click Next. Remember, periodically you'll have questions that you can just answer and check your answer to make sure you're on the right track. You don't necessarily need to turn these in unless the teacher gives you different directions. Notice this is an assignment called Census and Change. Make sure you're reading the directions and then complete it. On this particular one where you're making two lists, I would recommend that you're either using Office 365 and using Word or Google Docs so that you can then save it and download it later to turn in. You could always use paper and pencil. You'll need to take a picture of it and then upload the picture. Once you're done with that, then obviously go on to the next screen. In this case, it's just a self-check question where you can read the question and click on the answer. When you click on the answer, it is going to tell you if you were right or not and give you a little bit of an explanation. A self-check is just where you can kind of check to see if you're on the right track and understanding the material. In this case, obviously there's more than one question, so you'd want to go through all of them. So obviously, here's a green check, so this was the correct answer. Here we see a red X, which means our answer was incorrect, but yet we do have an explanation down below that we can read, so we understand why it was an incorrect answer. Continue on until you've answered all those questions. Then, when you are done, you'll get a summary of how many of them you had correct and how many you had incorrect. You can always review that material if you would like, so you can understand where you went wrong. And it will actually give you a chance to correct the wrong answer. When you're done, click on the Next in the bottom right corner. So now we're at a point in this module where we need to turn in an assignment that we just did in our lesson. Read the directions that is given to you and then proceed. So in this particular one, we need to turn in an assignment that we have done in Google Docs, maybe Office 365 using Word, maybe Notepad. Okay? So whatever you used it in, you need to make sure you know where that was saved at so you can grab that assignment and turn it in. I am going to walk you through the process of downloading a Google Doc file as a PDF so that you then can turn in the assignment. You need to be uploading your assignments and not sharing the assignments with your instructor unless that is the directions given. There will be some assignments where they ask you to email your teacher with the assignment, and we'll go over later how you can send an email with an attachment. Obviously, you type in your answers. You want to make sure you title your document. I would highly suggest that you make it the name of the assignment and maybe put your name behind it so it is easier for the teacher to tell whose assignment is whose. You can always include your name right in the document and not in the title. Once you're done, you've proofread, you have it named, then you will want to go to File, go down to Download, and I would recommend to download it as a PDF. You could download it as a Word document. You could do the other formats, but Word document and PDF will keep any formatting that you have done to the document. When you click on the file download, bottom left corner of your screen, you will see the file. Click on the arrow pointing up. Click on Show in Folder. The reason for doing this is that way you can see where it is stored at or saved at, or you could even change the location. So right now, mine is in Downloads. If I wanted to take it and put it on my desktop or my document, if I'm working on a laptop or a desktop, I could simply just click and drag it over here to the side to where I would like to put it and then let up on it. You can also save it to a flash drive. The same way, make sure the flash drive is plugged in, whether it's a Chromebook, desktop, or laptop. And then over on the side, find where it says flash drive. Usually that's like a D drive, E drive. And then you can do the same thing, click and drag it over there. When you're done with that, you can minimize this dialog box or close it out. If you just finished the assignment and are ready to turn it in, go back to Canvas and turn it in. If you completed it earlier and you haven't done the file download, make sure you go back in and do that. From here, I'm going to go up and click on Submit Assignment. I am going to scroll down to where it says File Upload. Next to File, it says Choose File. Click on that. Go to where that document is saved at. So mine I saved on the desktop, so I'm going to go to Desktop. And I'm going to find that assignment. And I can double click on it, or I can click once and click Open. Once you see the name next to Choose File, you know that has been uploaded. If you had more than one file to turn in for this particular assignment, then you would click on Add Another File and walk through the exact same steps. So add another file, choose File, find that file wherever you saved it at, then take and double click on it. Notice that once the file name is there next to Choose File, it has been uploaded. If you have a comment for your teacher, make sure to write it here in the comment section. If you struggled with something, then jot it down here in this comment section box so the teachers know what you're struggling with and they can give you further help. Then click on Submit Assignment. After clicking on Submit Assignment, it takes maybe 10 seconds. And then on the right-hand side, you will see a section that says Submission. Submitted, it will tell you the date and the time. It will give you any details that you have with the submission, such as your files that you have uploaded. When you're done with that, then go back to Home or go back to Modules and continue working. Here's another example of a type of assignment you may run into. This one you can complete right in Canvas, and you do not need to go to Google Docs or anyplace else. Remember to start from Learning Modules or clicking on Modules from the menu. Then go down to which module you're working on, click on the lesson, work your way through the lesson, making sure that you're understanding what each slide is referring to, so that when you get to the assignment, you will know how to do that. Do keep in mind you can always refer back to your lessons if you get stuck when working on your assignment. In some modules, you may do 1 or 2 lessons, maybe even 3, before you get to an assignment. Remember, when there's a video, make sure you're watching that and paying close attention, as that is going to help you with the assignment when you get to that point. Is a self-check area where you can go through and decide what you're supposed to do first or second, or how you completely solve a problem. If you click on the text, if it is a hyperlink, it will tell you what the answer is. I would make sure that you try to answer it first before clicking on the text. There is no more next button down here. So we're going to click on the next button down in the bottom right corner, which is taking us to another lesson. We'll work our way through the lesson. Here, there is a blue activity button. Typically speaking, when you see the activity button, that means you have an assignment to complete. Click on the activity button, and that will open up your assignment. In this particular assignment, you can do this right here without going anywhere else. Notice there are light blue boxes that you can click on, and you can type in the information. Remember, read the directions. Make sure when you're answering the questions that you are very thorough. If you are thorough, then it will be easier for teachers to see what you are doing and be able to see where you may have misunderstandings. And that way they can help you so you get on the right track. Notice after you complete the Explore, Plan, Solve, and Examine, there is a box for you to put your final answer. Remember to make sure you're marking your answers appropriately. When you're done with the assignment, click on the down arrow so that you download it and you can access it later to turn it in. Make sure you know where you're saving it at. Make sure it has an appropriate name so it's easy to find when you're ready to turn it in. I would recommend naming it something to match the assignment. Then click Save. Go back into Canvas and click on Next. Here, we are now ready to turn in an assignment. Notice that it's telling us we need to upload a file. Read the directions. Click on Submit Assignment. Go down to File Upload. Choose File. Remember to go to the location where you saved your assignment. You can then double-click on the assignment name, or you can click once and click Open. When you see the name of the assignment next to Choose File, then it has been uploaded. You can always add more than one file if needed. If you have any comments for the teachers, make sure that you type it here in the comment section. Then click Submit Assignment. There again, wait about 10-15 seconds and you should see a submissions area. It'll say Submitted, the date and time, and then any details. Once you're done with that, go back to Modules or the home screen and continue working. Some lessons, you may not have an assignment, you may just have a quiz. Always remember to start working on a module, making sure you start with the lessons and working your way through. Some slides may have tabs of information. Make sure you click on each one and read the information before moving on. Here, we are at a quiz, so you're going to click on Take the Quiz. Read through each question. Answer the question. Once you have finished the quiz and you're satisfied with all your answers, click on Submit Quiz. It will take you back and it will tell you what your score was, how long you took, and what attempt that was. Some quizzes may be set up by your teacher to take more than once, especially if you have done poorly on that quiz. Some teachers may have it set up that it will show you which questions you had correct and which questions you had incorrect and what the correct answers were. Notice that I did not do very well on this quiz because I rushed through the lesson and did not take my time. So remember, it's very important that you take your time and go through each lesson very thoroughly. If you're done with this subject for the day and you want to work on another subject, click on your dashboard and it will take you back to your dashboard so that you can pick your tile for the next subject. Another type of assignment you may have is responding to questions or writing a story. Those are things that you will either do by handwriting it and then having to take a picture of it and send it to your teacher, or most of those may say, type your answers in Google Doc and then email it to your teacher. Here's an assignment where you need to write about something, making sure that you're proofreading and checking your spelling prior to turning it in. Notice here it says email your scanned writing or your Word document to your teacher. Here, if you handwrote the assignment, you would want to take a picture of it and then email it to your teacher. Or if you have a scanner, you could scan it and email it to your teacher. I would suggest that you just go to Google Docs or Office 365 and use Word and type it up. Here again, make sure that you've typed your assignment, you've saved it with a name, making sure your name is on the paper. Once you are done, click on File, click Download. I would recommend that you do it as a PDF or a Word document just to keep the formatting. It will show up in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Remember, if you're not sure where it's going to be at, click on the arrow pointing up, click on Show in Folder. Look up here in the address line and it will tell you where it's saved at. So mine is saved in Downloads. Go to your email, click on Compose, type in your teacher's email address. If you are not sure what your teacher's email address is, you can always get that from their homepage. By clicking on Help or About the Teacher, and then find on their contact information what the email address is. But as you're typing in your teacher's name, eventually if you type enough in, it will automatically pop up and you can click on it. Put in a subject. Make sure to type the subject as what the assignment is. Once you have done that, if you have any other comments you want to make to your teacher, type it here in the big white area, which is your text area. Go down to the bottom of your screen and click on the paper clip. Notice as I'm pointing to it, it does say Attach Files. Go to where you have it saved at, double click on it, click once and click Open, or you can click and drag it. If you click and drag it, make sure to click Cancel on the Open dialog box. To close that out, then click on Send. You have now sent an email with an attachment to your teacher so that they can grade that assignment and then enter your score. When you're done, remember, you can go back to modules and continue working, or if you are done for this particular class for today, then click on your dashboard and continue working. Or if you're done completely for the day, remember to log out. Another type of activity or assignment you may run into is one that opens up as a PDF. If you come to a PDF where you cannot write your answers right on the PDF, you'll want to go in and open Kami. Go to the top right corner of your PDF and click on the blue square with the K in it. Kami is an area where you can go in and use different tools to write on your assignments. You could always print it off if you have access to a printer, manually do it on paper, then take an image of it, and then upload that image. So here, you could draw a text box to do what you needed to, or you could use your drawing tool. You can use the drawing tool to show your work so the teacher can see how you're coming up with your answer. Obviously, make sure you're reading the directions so that you are doing things correctly. If you get this dialog box up here saying this file is not uploaded, just close it out or dismiss. Once you have that done, if you wanted to type your answer, click on the text box. Click somewhere. You'll get a blue box. You can start typing in your answer. Once you're done with the assignment, remember, we need to save it. We need to make sure we know where we're saving it, so when we're ready to turn it in, we can do so. Click on the down arrow, which is your download, or you can click on the save icon. Save it to downloads. Do not save it into your Google Drive, as it will be too difficult to find and get to when you're turning things in to Canvas. Wait for it to process. When it is done processing, it will show you that it is done and give you the chance to download it again. Just click on the X to close out the dialog box. Go back into Canvas, continue working until you get to a point where you need to turn it in. It may not be right away. You may have other lessons to do, or maybe take a short quiz before you get to a spot to turn that in.